Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. And I usually start my reviews by saying, I'm your homegirl Bean, your blissfully single one. But I have to admit, I haven't been blissful the past couple of weeks. And actually, that's why I missed the last episode's review, is because I was in a dark space. And the reason why I was in a dark space is because I had an argument with a family member, and it was very embarrassing because this was a get together where first of all, I'm the oldest person in the room, and I was supposed to be one of the peacekeepers to help foster dialogue and conversation. Anyway, I wound up having too damn much wine to drink and started popping off and got into an argument. So on top of being embarrassed, I felt I was in an environment where I wasn't getting supported, and my voice wasn't heard, and I felt like I was being ganged up on. Like, in hindsight, I probably was acting like an obnoxious asshole, but after that argument, I came home, and for the next 2 weeks, I kind of stayed in bed. Yes, I said it. I stayed in bed. I worked from bed for 8 hours. I didn't do too much. It's not until I started binging on Real Housewives of New York, child, 13 seasons. I started binging on that. I got my nails done so I can have something pretty to look at. I went to go see my bestie in New Jersey. Lainey, girl, I love you. I don't know if you're watching, because I know show reviews aren't your thing, but I love you and thank you for opening your doors to me. And girl, you live in a beautiful home, but your neighborhood is very quiet, so I'm going to be texting you a lot more often, all right? But anyway, I say all this to say I was very sad. I was very embarrassed. I felt isolated, so I withdrew into my own cocoon, and I had to bring myself out of that dark place, or it would have gotten a lot darker. So, as a good segue to that, please visit my blog, blissfullysinglebean.com. I recently published a blog post about mental health awareness, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and things you can do to keep a good mental health balance. And I damn sure wish I wrote this blog post a couple of weeks ago before going to my cousin's house and acting like a straight jackass. But let's move on. I'm ready to love. It was an alright episode. I mean, it wasn't firecrackers or whatever, but we're gonna get through it because we love the show, and that's what I do. I review these dating shows, these grown and sexy dating shows. So anyway, this episode, the girls meet with Tommy at his lair. And it's the females' week to eliminate a male. And I must say, and please, well, if you want to come for me in the comments, that's good, because it's engagement. It's me and you going back and forth. But there's a difference between when it's a women's elimination week and when it's a men's elimination week. I feel like the guys are a lot easier. Like, when it's the men's elimination week, they go on their dates, they do what they need to do, and they find a woman to eliminate. But there's not a cruelty attached to it. But I feel like a lot of times when it's the women's elimination week, like, as women, we just do too much. Like, we're a lot harsher, a lot critical. Like, I don't know. I think when women eliminate men, it's a lot harsher, and I'm not sure why the dynamic is. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say, oh well, women got attitudes. It's not as simple as that. I just don't understand when it's our elimination week, why we have to go so hard to hurt. You know what I mean? Where the guys are like a little bit easygoing about it. Don't come for me. It's just my opinion. The ladies meet up with Tommy, and Tommy says, "Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling, do you feel my heart beating?" All right, he didn't say all that, but he did tell the ladies to close their eyes and imagine the perfect guy, your number one, the one that you marry and you give a boy and a girl to. And then that boy and that girl gives you grandbabies. You build a legacy and a dynasty, and you live together for 35, 40 years, and you die in each other's arms. Who is that person? Who is that number one? Vernisha's like, oh baby, that's Joelle. Amber is like, all right, Chrissy, boo boo, it's Chrissy. That's my man. That's my man. And nephew Tommy's like, all right, erase all that. This is not what you're focusing on. What you're going to focus on this week is trying to connect with your number two and see if you can gain some ground with that person. Explore your options. Open up the decision making. And I think that was a realistic way for Tommy to approach things, because really at the end of the day, this dating game is not about, oh, I like this person, I'm going to date this person, and we're going to get married. No, child. For this dating thing to work, you need to see several people. So Tommy's point is, don't be stuck on who you want, who you want, who you want. Maybe your second will have the qualities that you want and you need. Game on. Alexis and Ron go golfing. And I know I'm an episode behind. And no, I'm not really an episode behind. I watched the last episode, the Masquerade Ball episode. I just didn't review it. But I'm still kind of understanding where Alexis and Ron got to this place. Now they're each other's number ones. But when I watched a couple of episodes ago, Ron and Chrysanthemum had a really great date, and they seem like each other's number ones. How about this? How about we date and stop labeling each other number ones, because it's confusing the fuck out of me. All right? Anyway, they go dating. They swear they're each other's number ones. And, the chemistry is there. But, Alexis and them ankle high crocodile cowboy boots that I'm still looking for the flyness because I don't see it in them boots. Anyway, she checks Ron about rumors of Chrysanthemum being his number one. And Ron did what typical niggas do. Ron told her exactly what she wanted to hear. She took it hook, line, sinker, and scene. AJ and Amber date. And off the riff, you see that Amber obviously has a stick up her ass about AJ. She feels like AJ's a player from the Himalayas. Shout out to Uncle Jerome. You know what I mean? And Amber just doesn't feel like AJ is genuine in all this. AJ is just happy to connect with Amber because they really haven't had a date or had much talking time. Anyway, AJ gives the player vibes, at least to Amber. While they're dating, they get together. Amber chin checks AJ about not being approachable. She said, you seem like you're too cool for school. Like, I'm attractive. I got the luscious beard. I'm nice and darkly and chocolatey and dark skinned. Like, to Amber, AJ knows he's fine. So AJ really hasn't worked at pursuing Amber. And Amber wants to understand, bruh, why you ain't put in the work? I don't think that's a fair question. I don't think it's a fair question simply because if AJ hasn't approached you or hasn't put in the work, he don't like you. Is it like a complicated, trigonometry algorithm? He hasn't approached you or he hasn't put work into getting to know you because he's not that interested. But anyway, Amber finds that as this big offense, and she still says Chris is her number one. This Chrysanthemum and Chris date, and of course it looks awkward because we've never seen these two together or trying to get to know each other. Anyway, they talk about their backgrounds, and both of them have daddy issues. Chrysanthemum didn't even know her dad until 6 years ago. Her mother was living in England and wanted an English baby. Where was Italy? I'm sorry. Chrysanthemum's mom was living in Italy, wanted to have an Italian baby, hooked up with the dad, ain't speak to him for years and years and years, and she recently reconnected with her dad, which reconnects with me because my dad, I haven't reconnected with him until recent. When my grandmother died a few years back, he really stepped in and became the father that I didn't grow up with, but I so need right now. So I can connect with Chrysanthemum on that. Chris is the same way. Chris really didn't have a relationship with their dad. So they're like, oh, cool, we got something to come. We got something in common. But I still don't see a connection or chemistry there. So, it is what it is. Amber and Joel go out on a date. And I'm going to have to say, I'm not warm on Amber. First of all, we have a big age difference. I'm 43, Amber is 31. Amber seems just like a stick in the mud. Like, she doesn't seem like a girl I can go out and have fun with and talk shit with, laugh obnoxiously with, and throw back shots of Casamigos with. She seems boring. So when Amber goes out on this date with Joel, I'm like, really? We gotta go through one more scene of this God with Amber. Damn. Yeah, Amber. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Anyway, Amber and Joel date, and Joel is laid on. And I have to say, Joel, I know you're a single dad with a great story, and your life doesn't present as a player, but Joel, you're still giving me player vibes because you sound like you can talk the panties off of anyone. Like, he's he's having this conversation with Amber, and Amber's trying to be tough. Joel's like, you think I can get a kiss or something by the end of the date? And Amber's like, we'll see how the date goes. Amber's trying to be tough, but she knows she's flattered as hell. Remove the stick out your ass, Amber. You know you like that man coming on to you. Stop playing. Joel straight up asked her how she feels about dating a man 10, 11 years her senior with kids. And Amber says, she's open for it. She's open for it. People are at different stages in their lives. I call bullshit. I don't think Amber's for it. Amber seems like she lives in this rigid world, like 1 + 1 = 2, or there's only 2 colors in the whole world, black and white, there's no gray. I don't think Amber would be okay with dating a man who's significantly older than her with children, but I do think Amber's smart enough to give the answer that will keep her in this game. That's my point of view. You can take it with a grain of salt. Joel says he does admire Amber, and she displays a level of maturity that you do not typically see in women in her age, but Vernisha is still top of mind. They have an okay date. The best thing about the date is Joel's wordplay, but Amber does give Joel a dry ass kiss on the cheek. And in her confessional, she says, I feel so bad for kissing Joel when Chris is my number one. Girl, a kiss on the cheek is not a kiss. My 11-year-old kisses me on the cheek maybe 3 or 4 times a day. Girl, get a grip. Liz and Jason date. What I love about Liz and what I like about Jason is that they're so easygoing that even when they date multiple people, it's easy for them to have a nice rapport with whomever they're dating. It was a nice, laid-back date. Jason is still gobsmacked for the way Liz came into the masquerade ball and shut everything down. So he was very excited for this date. Liz asked Jason if he minds dating an older woman. Mind you, Liz is 40, Jason is 36. A 4-year difference is not a difference. We're still in the same age group. We're still in the same decade. So yeah, it's the same thing. I'm like, Liz, I know you want to dot all your I's and cross all your T's, but child, yeah, you're doing too much. 4 years is nothing. But anyway, it was a cute date. Liz is very easygoing and can talk to anyone, but still, David is top of mind. And I can agree with you too. I really can't imagine David being with anyone else but Liz, and vice versa. Kyra and AJ date. And you know Kyra and AJ had some history and it wasn't a good one. But let me tell you, when I tell you AJ was coming correct, AJ and that chocolatey skin and that beard was coming correct. AJ hopped out the whip with roses, walked Kyra into a private room. AJ says, listen, I like Kyra, so nothing can go wrong all this date. I said, oh yeah? Really? I hope you have enough money on that debit card to cover that private room and meal. I'm just saying. During their date, Kyra is trying to express something to AJ. AJ's not really taking it seriously. So at that point of the date, Kyra thinks their communication has stalled. It feels stifled. But then AJ brings everything back around, and AJ gives a little bit of his background. He's not the greatest communicator. He's had relationships break up because of it. But he does say that he likes Kyra and he wants to give it a chance. So he needs to work on what he needs to work on to be a better communicator for Kyra. AJ's like, are you going to wait for me to do that? Kyra's like, all right, Danny. All right. Vernisha and Dietrich date. Hey, Vernisha. Like, unlike Amber's prepubescent ass, Vernisha is a chick that I certainly can kick it with. Like, in my head, we friends, we single mothers doing it. Like, I could see us going to a nice ass brunch spot, you know, with the mimosas, with a shot of Grand Marnier, you know, a little bit of vodka in the mix. We throwing it back. We talking about baby daddies and how they ain't shit. We laughing, we giggling. Like, I understand Vernisha in a way because we're kind of on that same path in life. So Vernisha's sitting out with Dietrich, and I already knew because Dietrich aggravates me. That whole, you know, he needs an heir, you know, at 50-something years old. He needs a son heir. Like, child, you don't got enough children? But anyway, child, Dietrich asks Vernisha if she has time for a relationship. And Vernisha gives it right back to him. Girl, if you're important, then I will certainly make time for a relationship. At the end of the day, Vernisha wants a leader. Dietrich gets scared. I mean, oh Lord have mercy. A leader. You know, these girls out here want someone to pay bills, pay rent, cook, clean, scrub, clean the gutters, change the siding from your house, finish the basement. And Vernisha's like, no, hold on. What we're not gonna do is make it seem like I'm some gold digging trick out here. Vernisha said, I've always taken care of myself. I've always taken care of myself and mine. What I'm saying is, if I'm in a relationship with someone, I want to chill for a little bit. I don't want to have to worry about 100% of what's going on. Can I worry about 50%? Can I breathe? You understand? Dietrich is intimidated by Vernisha. Vernisha's personality is way too strong. And I'm looking at Dietrich like, Dietrich, you ain't shit. You ain't shit because I understand exactly where Vernisha is coming from. Ain't nobody asking you to pay our bills. We just want to be in a position where we can breathe for 2 seconds and not have to worry about every damn thing. By the end of the day, Vernisha's like, nigga, thanks, but no thanks. What is Joel doing tonight? So the ladies meet up at the lounge. Tommy goes right into it. How did your dates go? How was everything? Who do we like? Who are we putting on the bottom? Amber jumps right into it. Of course you will, Amber. Amber says she had a date with Joel. And Vernisha's like, Amber goes, it was a great night. And then Amber says something. I'm like, bitch, you're shady. And it's apparent that you're an attorney because you know how to use your words to skew things in a way that's not actually aligned with the reality or the tone of the situation. Amber goes, you know, we kissed. And Vernisha's heard about it. Vernisha's like, well, he's my number one. I really like him. And we've never kissed. And he kisses Amber. Amber, what you failed to tell them is that it was a dry ass cheek kiss. There's a very big difference between a kiss on the cheek and a kiss on the lips with tongue down your throat. I kiss the old ladies in my church on the cheek. You understand what I'm saying, Amber? So don't make it seem like there was a lot more there with Joel than what it was. Because at the end of the day, Joel still wasn't feeling you like that. Vernisha was still the one that he was checking for. So, Amber, sit your immature ass down, all right? Please and thank you. Kyra says, I went on a date with AJ. Kyra says, we've had background before, and he's been my worst date ever. But last time we dated, he was my best date ever. He was my best date ever. Kyra's simply going for this date. Tommy's messy. I was like, really? Did he pay for dinner this time? I said, Tommy, you messy as hell. You know you messy. Amber jumps right on in and says that her least favorite, or the person she thinks should be in the bottom, is AJ. And Kyra is like, holla. You ain't gonna throw AJ in the mix. That's my man. And Amber's like, hold up, wait. Tommy asked me, and this is my time to speak, and I'm saying what I feel. And I don't feel as if AJ is ready to love, because AJ doesn't put in his work. He just feels like he can stand there and, you know, have women approach him. And Amber, that is not accurate. AJ did not approach you. AJ didn't like you like that. I kind of feel like the point of view that Amber's coming from is straight bullshit. Amber seems to me like she's suffering from the ugly duckling syndrome. And girl, I can go there because I suffered from the ugly duckling syndrome myself. I feel like Amber, somewhere down the line, erroneously probably thought she wasn't pretty as the rest of the girls. So if someone is not jumping all over her jock and professing the love, like, then something's wrong with them, something's wrong with the other guy, and it's really her insecurities that she's projecting. I think AJ does have playboy tendencies, but I do agree that if there is a girl that AJ has liked, he's gone up to them and put in the work. He just hasn't put in the work for Amber because he doesn't like her like that. And guess what, Amber? That's okay. That's not justification to send him home, though, because AJ has been connecting with Kyra, and I feel like AJ was one of the favorites, which is why I was so confused. Because after Amber put AJ in the mix, everyone else started throwing AJ's name, like, oh, AJ needs to be in the bottom. He's immature. He's a player. He's this, he's that. I'm like, all right, this is not aligning with the last few episodes that I have been seeing. But yeah, okay. Dietrich's name also comes up, and Vernisha rightfully throws him in the mix, and I absolutely agree with that. Dietrich, why are you so intimidated by a woman asking you to be a leader? By virtue of being a man. Listen, I am a Christian girl, born and raised Pentecostal. And when I tell you Pentecostal, old-time religion, no ears pierced, girls has to wear skirts, no pants, even in 40 below degree weather in Brooklyn, New York, circa 1980. So I get the old time religion and the biblical mandates that state the man is the head of the household. A lot of that stuff I have left behind because I stress more spirituality than rules. However, I will say one of the things that I have set my life by is if I'm married to a man, the man has to be the leader of my household. Like, so there are certainly certain roles that should be taken. I don't want to be married to a husband and lead the household. To me, it's just like, it goes against how I was raised. So for Dietrich to be so afraid of being a leader, yet you want a woman to pop out a man child for you? Man, Dietrich, if you don't go somewhere with that bullshit, at the end of the day, Dietrich was sent home, and rightfully so, and AJ received the feedback and vowed that he's going to be a better person and be more real with how he comes across with the women so that he's not categorized as some kind of player. So that was it. Thank you so much for watching this review. Please follow me. Follow me on Twitter. I be having a kiki on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. My handle is BeansFarizi. Also follow me on Instagram at BlissfullySingleBean. So you can get all the updates. And of course, please subscribe Also, again, please hit up my blog, blissfullySingleBean.com. And I appreciate all of you. Everyone who watched my video of Melody Holt calling out Martell Holt, thank you so much. As I grow my channel, I'm starting to understand the topics that I talk about that people are receptive to. Hot topics. I gotta do hot topics. My aim to find a hot topic every week and do it so I can get my subscribership up. And last but certainly not least, the reunion shows. I think I'm gonna review those live because I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to do it live so that I can go back and forth with my followers. Miss Blue, I see you. You better be there, girl. Girl, I love you. We just had a difference of opinion on something, but please, I love you. Please keep following. All right, guys, peace out and have a wonderful weekend.